Give them a warm welcome. In lane number 1, Hannah Hardy. In lane number 2, Gina DeLucia. In lane number 3, Ashley Shepard. In lane number 4, Nick Latora. In lane number 5, Samantha Petrick. In lane number 6, Katie Price. In lane 7, Maureen Kogel. In lane 8, Deanna Swedish. In lane 9, Joey Kimden. In lane 10, Julia Camide. And in lane 11, Victoria Hernandez. 1 minute, ladies. 1 minute. Thirty seconds, ladies. We need the head judge here on the floor.
Keep in mind, you're only to take the plates to your immediate left within your lane.
All right, 30 seconds. Seconds. Stand by. And here we go for our first flips of the night. Easy work for Hannah Hardy and Gina DeLucia.
In this first rotation, Victoria Hernandez. And a good lift.
In 20 seconds, our athletes will be lifting their second try. And here we go for second heat of lifts. Athletes have 20 seconds to complete their rep. Successful for Gina DeLucia, and judging by her smile, she's super happy about it. Now hitting the 10-second transition. And here we go. Lane number 3 and 4 hitting their second lift of the night. And how about that swing snatch, ladies and gentlemen?
for Julia. For them today, but not it for us quite yet, Greg.
Might have been in Ireland for only 24 hours, but I know how to say things. That was bleeding deadly. Bleeding deadly for first heat. Just operating a small weight change here, and we will be waiting to announce our second heat of ladies. Amanda Shepherd is leading the pack with 80 kilos.
Another Snatch exposition coming at you. Heat number 2 of your individual ladies. Now taking the competition force, they take their lanes and begin loading up their barbells. In lane number 1, Desiree Rogers. In lane number 2, Marissa Mueller. Lane number 3, Hillary Steele. In lane number 4, Michelle Bassett. Lane number 5, Kelsey Kale. In lane number 6, Andrea Solberg. In lane number 7, Devon Thompson.
Day number 1 of the Filthy 150, the very first sanctioned event of the CrossFit Games season, comes to a close to the final individual event here, the 1-rep max snatch. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Matt Jacobson. Not a whole lot of strategy here, just go big or go home.
Exactly, just go out there and make, or there is a little bit of strategy to it. You've got 4 lifts, there you get a 20-second window, and I think the strategy would be to make sure that you get at least 1 or 2 lifts that you feel comfortable with. Then after that, just go for it. Throw it out there. See what you got. I mean, we got Ashley Shepard in the previous heat going 80 kilos with a Josh Everett special split snatch.
I was going to say, somewhere Josh Everett is smiling after watching that lift.
And I think, I mean, that was great. And she started out really, really well. And I think we're going to have to see them do the same thing here.
12 women in this, or make it 11 women in this second heat. And they're all chasing Ashley Shepard, who unofficially is your leader with 2 heats to go at 80 kilos.
So in lane number 1, Desiree Rogers. Lane number 2, Carissa Mueller. In lane number 3, Hillary Steele. Lane number 4, Michelle Basnet. In lane number 5, Kelsey Kiel. Lane number 6, Andrea Solberg. In lane number 7, Javon Thompson. In lane number 8, Kimberly Decree. In lane number 9, Simona Silva. And in lane number 10, Casey Wells. In lane number 11, Ella Wilkinson.
First 2 lifters are up in lanes 1 and 2. It's going to be Desiree Rogers and Carissa Mueller. Rogers is on the left, Mueller's on the right.
Whoa!
Both not having any trouble with their opening lifts.
Looks like 85 kilos just went overhead for the opener.
Right away, unofficially, we have a new leader. There has been some confusion as to when the athletes are going to lift. It's going to be every 30 seconds. They have 20 seconds in that 30 seconds to lift, and then there is a 10-second transition. Next 2 lifters, Hillary Steele on the left, and Michelle Basnet is on the right. And they are both successful. We will do our best to get the weights to you. We're supposed to be getting information from the floor, but that has been sparse at best, so you'll have to rely on the addition skills of you and me, which is a little bit scary right now.
It is freaky, so just in case you see us or you hear us saying something that isn't necessarily what you counted up to be, let's not disagree. Let's just agree that we didn't get it.
Kelsey Kiel on the left, Andrea Solberg on the right. Both of them hitting their opening lift. So already we're seeing some heavier opening lifts than we did in the prior heat.
And Kelsey Kiel, we know that she can lift. She won the lift off. She just threw 80 kilos overhead like it was nobody's business whatsoever. So I think we're in for a treat.
Javon Thompson and Kimberly Decree are next. Thompson is on the left, Decree is on the right.
It's like 70 kilos she's missed out on right there and doesn't look happy with that.
Well, again, there's confusion as to when they need to be lifting. They heard that and Thompson said, "Oh, now?" And she will miss that lift. It looked like she may have already tried 1 attempt, and now that's the beep means that their 20-second window is done. Now we will wait 10 seconds before our next 2 lifters is going to be Simona Silva and Casey Wells. Silva is on the left, Wells is on the right.
So 60 kilos on both, 65 on the right of your screen and 60 on your left.
The final lifter will be Ella Wilkinson. She's in the all black on the bottom right of your screen.
Starts out with 55 kilos.
About a little more than 121 pounds for her opening lift. Wilkinson will struggle with that, but she is able to hit the lift. And our first round of attempts is in the books. 3 more attempts for the 11 women on the floor. And we'll go back to Desiree Rogers on the left, Carissa Mueller on the right. Mueller, one of the few athletes in this heat that actually has games experience. She was with CrossFit Dynamics in 2016, where they just missed finishing on the podium at the games. Her team finished in 4th place.
So that's 80. She had 85 kilos on the bar. Let's see what she must have added some. No.
Rogers loses it forward.
Trouble is when they have the smaller plates, it's hard to see. But at 85 plus kilos, let's just put it that way.
She did hit her first lift. Second lift for Desiree Rogers unsuccessful. She will have 2 more attempts. And now Hillary Steele and Michelle Basnet. Steele on the left, Basnet is on the right.
So Steele looks like she got 70 kilos. That looks like
Basnet was trying to stabilize that in the bottom. It doesn't look like she's going to have another chance to make a run at this. Again, just 20 seconds in that 30-second window. So now a 10-second transition. And Kelsey Kiel and Andrea Solberg are up next. Kiel, as you take a look at Solberg, who's getting set to lift, Kiel is on the left, Solberg is on the right.
85 kilos for Kelsey Keel on the bar.
And that looked easy.
No problem.
So Kelsey Keel, unofficially right now, your new leader at 85 kilos. About 187 pounds for her. Now Javon Thompson and Kimberly DeCray are up next. That's Thompson in the white top, losing it forward.
70 kilos on the bar. And what she did was she came up and instead of following through that momentum upwards, she bounced her hip on the bar, which meant the bar ended up a little bit ahead of her, which makes it virtually impossible at that kind of weight to stand it up.
Kimberly DeCray is not on the floor, so she is not lifting. Her lane is empty. And now we move on to Simona Silva. She is on the left, and Casey Wells on the right. Second of 4 attempts for each of these women.
Casey Wells, that looked like 65 kilos.
She will hit that, as Silva also made her lift. So 3, making 1 final lifter here, and that's going to be Ella Wilkinson.
At 60 kilos on the bar, 5 kilo increase from their last lift.
Yeah, just 19 years old. She's still very early in her competitive career here. Her second of 4 attempts.
What a great place to get some exposure to the big stage. Yep.
And that lift will count as she is able to get a successful lift in that 20-second window. And now we're on to round 2. Making that round 3. And we are back to Desiree Rogers and Carissa Mueller. Mueller on the right. Desiree Rogers is on the left.
So that's 90 kilos on the bar on the left side of your screen right there.
As Mueller fails her lift. And Desiree Rogers at 90 kilos is now taking the lead from Kelsey Keel. So 90 kilos is good, nearly 200 pounds for Desiree Rogers. Now Hillary Steele and Michelle Basnet stepping up.
Oh, fight, that's gone.
Neither Steele nor Basnet can hit their lifts. There's a good battle, though, going on between Desiree Rogers and Kelsey Keel. Now, Kelsey Keel stepping up for her third of 4 attempts. She will be on the left of your screen.
There she is.
And Andrea Solberg will be on the right.
87.5 kilos for Kelsey Keel.
As Solberg hits that, Keel will hit that as she tries to keep the pressure on Desiree Rogers.
That's 80 kilo for Andrea Solberg, which is exactly what she needs.
Now, Kelsey Keel came into this event in 17th place overall, 76 total points. Looking to move herself up the leaderboard with a strong performance here. And Javon Thompson, third attempt for her.
65 kilos.
Won't be able to hit it, but still has 10 seconds in her 20-second window. Second attempt. That one will not count. So running into a little trouble here.
And it looks like she's being a bit stressed, so she's not coming up to full extension. She tries to sit down a little too fast. She's stressed, but she needs patience.
Next 2 lifters, Simona Silva on the left and Casey Wells on the right.
That's 75 kilos right there, didn't make it.
Wells loses it back, and now Silva will hit her lift. Good fight for her.
That's 70 kilos.
And then the 19-year-old Ella Wilkinson, bottom right of your screen, she will be the final lifter. And then we will move into the 4th and final round. 65 kilos for Wilkinson. And she will hit that.
It's turning into a habit. First one's warm-up, second one I'm going to get away with.
3 rounds down, 4th and final round coming up next, and it's back to your leader, in this event, Desiree Rogers on the left.
And she's got 95 kilos on the bar. So that's the 90 that she has in the bank already. 95 kilos on the bar.
Carissa Mueller is on the right. So Desiree Rogers looking to hang on to the lead here in this event. 90 kilos good for her already. Mueller will make her lift. And now Rogers having some trouble with that one.
She's all right. She's all right.
But still, 90 kilos is good for her. She still is the leader in this event. But Kelsey Keel, who's speaking to her judge right now on the left of your screen, may have something to say about that.
I think she's trying to figure out the whole kilos to pounds thing, and then she's also looking over at how's everybody else doing in this?
Hillary Steele and Michelle Basnet. Now Basnet, once again on the right, she gets underneath it, but just can't stabilize. Second attempt for Basnet, and she will make that. Huge lift for Michelle Basnet. The pressure was on, and she delivers on her fourth and final attempt.
She looks pretty happy, though. And so Kelsey Keel has 87 kilos in the bank. She's going to go for 90 now.
Keel is on the left, and she has no
90.
trouble with that. So right now, she is unofficially tied with Desiree Rogers for the event lead at 90 kilos.
75 kilos for Andrea.
Andrea Solberg will not get that lift, but Kelsey Keel unofficially, again, tied with Desiree Rogers at 90 kilos. We'll wait till we actually get the official weights, but by our count, we're deadlocked. Yvonne Thompson will hit that.
A lot better patience. She does not look happy. I think she should be happy with that lift, though. Looked really good.
Again, Kimberly DeCrave, her barbell is on the left. She did not come out on the floor. It's that empty barbell as Simona Silva and Casey Wells. Silva on the left, Wells on the right. Fourth and final list for them.
75 kilos, and she stands it up.
Wells will make that, and now Silva unable to stand that up. Time for one more attempt. That's not going to happen for her. Well, Ella Wilkinson will be the final lifter in this second of 3 heats. 67.5 kilos for the 19-year-old. 10 seconds left.
Shoot it for him. She's got to give it one more go and nail it.
Second attempt.
She looks pretty happy as well, though.
Got that to her waist and said, yeah, this is not going to happen. But impressive performance from Ella Wilkinson. But Kelsey Keel and Desiree Rogers at 90 kilos, unofficially tied for the event lead with 1 heat to go. As Rogers and Keel congratulate each other.
Just a small weight change.
Great performance for Kelsey Keel, who has been to the CrossFit Games 3 times on a team. Her best finish was 9th in 2018, and then last year competed with Invictus Boston.
And she made that lift look easy. I mean, you could have put another 5 kilos on there and it wouldn't have mattered at all.
Kelsey Keel will have to wait and see if she's going to lock up an event win. One of the women who's looking to propel herself up the overall leaderboard came into this event in 17th place overall with 76 total points. The winner of the event will get 100 total points, and then the amount decreases as we work our way down the overall standings.
And so we were just told right now that what the judges are going to do now in the past 2 heats, what they did was they had the weight the athlete had made on the board in front of him. They're going to now display the number that is being attempted. So it's going to be a little bit easier for us to follow.
Super helpful for us.
Very.
We want to thank the judges for their efforts. Good crowd here for the opening day of the Filthy 150. Everyone trying to stay warm. It is cold in this building. That is one thing that the athletes are having to find a a way to deal with here. A lot of knit caps.
And not just the athletes.
A lot of layers. Let's take a look back at that last heat that we watched in a great battle between Kelsey Keel and Desiree Rogers. But as you said, man, Kelsey Keel made those lifts look simple.
They looked really, really good. Kelsey Keel had a plan, stuck with it. She had more weight on the bar, saw that Rogers didn't make it, and then adapted to it. And I thought that was really, really great. I love an athlete that comes in with a plan, but also with a contingency plan, depending on what else goes on in that heat. That being said, Kelsey Keel, used to working in pounds, may have been challenged a little bit by the whole kilo game as well.
And usually that shoe was on the other foot when the Europeans come over to the United States and have to compete at the games. There's some confusion to that whole kilos to pounds conversion, and you're right, that can cause some confusion. You think you have maybe more weight than you did, and at the end of the day, you thought you won the event, maybe you didn't.
I remember at an invitational event where I had the pleasure of coaching, and we'd made little cheat sheets. Then the cheat sheet got left in the warm-up area, and after that, it just got crazy. We were trying to ask people. It was fun, as the invitational should be, and wasn't quite what we were looking for, though, to be honest.
Emma McQuaid in the black, the hometown favorite here. That's Steph Chung. Samantha Briggs in the all blue. She'll be taking the floor as well. Samantha Briggs looking to qualify for the CrossFit Games here, as the open leaderboard is still shifting around. So nothing set in stone, but Steph Chung been to the games before. She qualified out of the Meridian Regional in 2018. And Sarah Sigmarsdottir still leading the open. She'll be in lane number 7. Now Steph Chung in lane 3 right now is battling for that invitation to the CrossFit Games with Andrea Solberg. So keep an eye.
It's going to be interesting.
Steph Chung.
The community reached out to us again, and Alexis Detroit, I'm sorry that I've butchered the name before, is in lane number 1. Lane number 2, we've got Tommy DePrima. Lane number 3, Steph Chung. Lane number 4, Samantha Briggs. Lane number 5, Emma McQuaid. Lane number 6, Christine Holte. Lane number 7, Sara Sigmundsdottir. Lane number 8, Emily Leppänen. Lane number 9, Nicole Burke. Lane number 10, Cheryl Nasso. Lane number 11, Michaela Norman. And in lane number 12, Emily Lundberg.
Unofficially 90 kilos is the weight to beat. All these women will get 4 attempts in which to try and do that. And the winner of the event will receive 100 very valuable points as we move into the weekend and 5 more events that these women know about.
And I'm looking forward to seeing Sara Sigmundsdottir and how she does with this. I mean, she is really, really strong. We know that she's got great capacity. I'm looking forward to seeing how she feels. Is she going to go out there and put it all on the line and try to challenge the 90 kilos? Or what's she going to do?
First 2 lifters are up in lanes 1 and 2.
Alexis Detroit in lane number 1, yeah.
And Toma DePrina, thank you for the assist, Alexis Detroit.
Well, I was corrected
I always
by the
feel
community.
so just bad when I hear you say all the European names, and then my stupid American self hacks them to death.
Well, we're helping each other out. I like that. So Steph Chung right here and Sam Briggs next to each other. That was 65 kilos for, not sure that was 65 kilos for Sam Briggs, but we'll have to check in a little bit later. So it's time for Christine Holte and Emma McQuaid. Christine Holte has, looks like 70 kilos on the bar. Emma McQuaid looks like she's got...
Holte makes her lift and McQuaid will hit hers. This is the first attempt. It's very likely that this will not be their final score, as they're just trying to get a good one in the bag. They're both Briggs and McQuaid. So now Sigmarsdottir and Emilia Leppänen.
So 87 kilos on the bar for Sarah Sigmundsdottir, 70 for Emilia Leppänen.
Sarah and Emilia stepping up to 87 and 70 respectively.
Sigmundsdottir will hit that. Leppänen will hit that. So Sarah Sigmundsdottir starting at a weight that we didn't see until about the third or fourth attempts in some of the prior heats.
We asked the question as she stepped on the floor, is she going to challenge the 90 kilos? You know what, I think she is.
Nicole Burke and Cheryl Nasso are up next. Burke is going to be on the left, and Nasso will be on the right.
60 kilos, no problem. That's actually 65 kilos, though. Had an empty lane there for Nasso.
Nasso, yet, as you said, Matt's not on the floor.
So we've got Michaela Norman. Kom igen nu, Michaela. So works out at CrossFit Nordic. I get the pleasure of watching her work out every once in a while. She's next to Emily Lundberg.
65 kilos, a good lift.
And both of them will hit their lifts. The first round is
70
now
kilos.
done.
70 kilos for Emily Lundberg. Looked easy as well.
3 more attempts to go. We move back down to lanes 1 and 2. Alexa Detroit and Tommy DePrima. Detroit is going to be on the left. DePrima will be on the right.
80 kilos.
Detroit missing that, and DePrima misses that lift as well. So maybe these athletes feeling the pressure early, as they know some of the best scores that have been put up in the prior heats.
And it's interesting to see how these athletes deal with a missed lift within a 20-second window. Do they get stressed and then not come up to full extension? Do they forget the last pull of the snatch? What do they do?
Steph Chung on the left, who comes in 4th place overall, trying to chase down Andrea Solberg. As Sam Briggs misses her lift.
82 kilos for Steph Chung and made it look beautiful. Sam Briggs.
Briggs hits that, but Steph Chung is trying to get an invite to the CrossFit Games, as is Samantha Briggs, and right now she and Steph Chung, that is, and Andrea Solberg are the leaders in that race. As Kristen Holta, who is getting set to lift, is your overall leader with 194 points after 2 events. She makes that lift. Next to her is Emma McQuaid. Both of them have already qualified for the CrossFit Games.
And 75 kilos for both. Looking very good.
Sarah Sigmundsdottir, she'll be up next, getting herself fired up. As she is Emilia Leppänen will lift. Leppänen is on the right, Sigmundsdottir on the left. 92 kilos. This would basically put Sarah in first place in this event. And Sigmundsdottir hits that no problem. 2 attempts to go, and she's staring 100 points in the face here as she comes in 3rd place overall in the event. In the competition, I should say.
Sarah Sigmundsdottir, when she's feeling the way it looks like she's feeling now, is lethal for competition.
We saw that last year, but for some reason, she just has not been able to put it all together at the CrossFit Games as Nicole Burke steps up to 65 kilos. Still has 10 seconds to go. And
That's actually,
that second attempt is good.
That's 70 kilos on the bar. There was a miss on the board, but yep, she got that.
70 kilos for her. And now Michaela Norman and Emily Lundberg stepping up, the final 2 lifters. Norman's on the left, Lundberg's on the right.
75 kilos on the bar for Emily Lundberg. Oh!
And she will hit that. Norman, meanwhile, down to her knees, won't be able to complete that lift.
Emily Lundberg, whom we may remember from the regionals in Madrid when she absolutely crushed the bench press. Everybody else was struggling. Emily was feeling pretty good about it.
Made that thing look like an empty bar.
Yes.
Round number 3, Alexa Detroit and Tommy DePrima. Detroit on the left, DePrima on the right.
It's 80 kilos for Detroit. 80 kilos for both ladies. No,
the two of them trying to put themselves in the top 10 in this event, and 80 kilos has a really good shot at doing that for you. As now Steph Chung and Samantha Briggs will get set.
Beautiful lift from Steph Chung last time. I'm looking forward to seeing this. 87.5.
Briggs won't be able to complete that. Steph Chung will make her lift. This is going to be a great result for Steph Chung because, again, she's looking to gain ground on Andrea Solberg as Samantha Briggs will make that rep count. But Steph Chung came in 28 points back of Andrea Solberg in that race for the invite to the CrossFit Games. Emma McQuaid and Kristen Holta.
Oh, 80 kilos easy.
Easy for Holta. And now Emma McQuaid.
Same thing. Beautiful lift there by Emma.
Now Sarah Sigmundsdottir looking to run away with this event. She is already your leader after hitting 92.5 kilos, and now she goes up to 95. That's going to be about 210 pounds for Sigmundsdottir. Look out, Sarah Sigmundsdottir, 3 for 3, 95 kilos. Meanwhile, next to her, Amelia Lepinen makes her lift. So Sarah Sigmundsdottir came in 24 points back of Kristen Holta for the overall lead. And given the amount of women who are in that 80 kilo range, Sigmundsdottir may be able to make up that gap in this event. Now here comes Nicole Burke, and she will hit that. Third and final attempts coming up for Michaela Norman and Emily Lundberg.
So Emily Lundberg looked really comfortable on her last lift. Michaela Norman struggled just a little bit, ended up on her knees. It'd be great for Michaela to get a lift under her belt just to feel good.
Lundberg is on the left, and I'm sorry, Norman's on the left, Lundberg is on the right.
And there you go, 67 kilos for Michaela Norman, 80 kilos for Emily Lundberg.
Fourth and final attempts coming up, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to touch Sarah Sigmundsdottir. She made 95 kilos look pretty easy. Alexis Detroit and Tommy DePrima. Detroit on the left, DePrima on the right. Fourth and final lifts for both of these athletes. It's like the same amount of weight on the bar. DePrima will be able to hit that.
Nice.
So a great finishing lift for her as Detroit steps up to the bar one more time and won't be able to make it count.
Way to stick with the lift in the bottom position, just making sure the bar is in place before she tries to stand it up.
Final lifts now for Steph Chung and Samantha Briggs coming up. So Steph Chung moving up to 90 kilos, pardon me. This would be huge for Steph Chung. And Briggs got the deadlift and said, no thank you. So Steph Chung is under it, and Steph Chung will hit 90 kilos. Huge for Steph Chung, looking like she might be able to leapfrog Andrea Solberg for that race for the invite to the CrossFit Games.
Steph Chung, the girl we call a gymnast, is now a weightlifter as well.
One CrossFit Games appearance for Steph Chung. That was back in 2018, looking to make her second here in 2020 as Kristen Holta misses her lift. And now Emma McQuaid, her final attempt. And Emma McQuaid has the hometown crowd behind her, and that will count. Kristen Holta loses it behind her, but a great result now for Emma McQuaid. McQuaid coming into this event in 5th place overall.
100 kilos
and now
for
100 kilos for Sarah Sigmundsdottir. That's 220 pounds.
Oh!
Got under it, but just could not stabilize. But Sarah Sigmundsdottir looks like she might have that in the tank.
She looks like she's gonna go again.
Time for one more attempt. She's got to start it here before that, and it's not gonna go. She had to get it in before that final 10 seconds, but Sarah Sigmundsdottir looking like she's gonna win this event. and vault herself up the overall leaderboard in the process. She came in third place overall, 24 points back of Kristen Holta.
75 kilos, and that was a good lift. Very nice.
That was Nicole Burke who hit that. And now final attempts for Michaela Norman and Emily Lundberg. Norman is on the left, Lundberg is on the right.
$70 kilos for, yes. And 85 for Emily Lundberg. So Emily Lundberg's got to be happy, and well, she is. And Michaela Norman has to be pretty happy as well. Got the 70 kilos in the bank after a couple of really, well, hard tries to start with.
Impressive lifts from all of these women, but none more impressive than Sarah Sigmundsdottir, who is going to win the event and lock up 100 points in the process, and we will have to wait to see how everything shakes out. You know what? It looks like she's going to just do this for the hell of it. One more attempt for Sarah Sigmundsdottir at 220 pounds, 100 kilos. Almost, but give her credit. Didn't need to do it, but decided to make another run for the fans here, and everybody here at the Punches Racecourse was on their feet watching Sarah Sigmundsdottir attempt a weight that would not have counted in her score.
I love that she does that, and it kind of speaks volumes of where she's at and how she's doing, just like we talked about before. When Sarah Sigmundsdottir is in a good place, well, it's a good place.
Well, there's no question that Sarah Sigmundsdottir has the physical abilities.
Absolutely.
The question has always been, for most people, is that can she get her head wired with the rest of her body?
Yes.
And once that happens, look out, because again, she has all the ability in the world.
Oh, definitely. That 100 kilo, I'm pretty sure that, and I don't know this for a fact, I'm just guessing, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's gotten a 100 kilo lift in practice a couple of times. I mean, she just looks comfortable with that weight, and she, like you said, physical ability, definitely.
Sarah Sigmundsdottir joining us now after that big event win. Sarah, first of all, that lift didn't even count. Why did you decide to try that again?
Oh, I wanted to use the crowd to get 100 kilos. So I have some bets of when I get 100 kilos, people have to turn vegan for a month, so I had to try to get
it. who are these people?
It's my manager
and
training buddies.
I want to make sure I wasn't included in that without my knowledge.
You're now included, though.
All right, well then, good luck with that. But
thank
you come into this event, you've already qualified for the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
How does that change how you approach this competition?
I want to be, like, I want to put pressure on me more. Like, I feel that I'm good in training, but I need that competition Sarah to get better, like be more confident in myself when I'm competing. So this is just an opportunity for me to train that.
What about the weights? When you came in there, did you have a game plan for the weights, or did you kind of game it off of the previous heats, or was it don't care about anybody else?
I was always going to attempt 100, and I was like, how do I attempt it? I was going to start with 90, then 95, 97 and a half, 100, but I started with 87 and a half just to be safe.
I love that you got an 87.5 kilo snatch, and that's your safe zone. Yeah. It's like a lot of guys out there probably would be struggling with that.
Yeah.
Sarah, you mentioned that you want to get your competition self better. What needs to happen this weekend for you to say that you accomplished that?
I think that I just put full effort in every workout, and like I'm in my own lane. I'm not thinking about what everybody else is doing, and that seems to be working now for day one at least.
Well, congratulations on the event win. We look forward to watching you the rest of the weekend.
Thank you so much.
Sarah Sigmundsdottir, 100 points, and decided to do a little extra work there to try to turn some people vegan.
Well, I mean, the things you won't do to win everything. It's not just a competition. I'm trying to win a bet here on the side as well. I love that she had the plan to when she walked in here. I love that it wasn't dependent on anybody else on the floor. And I love that she kind of went safe and then just progressively less and less safe and had a very aggressive 100 kilo plan.
Sarah Sigmundsdottir took the lead in this thing, I think on her second lift, and then was just playing with house money after that.
Which is a great place to go. I mean, not just, I want to One of the things I think is interesting is that she's always been really, really strong, but those were good-looking lifts. She's technically sound. She follows through, has great patience, and then a lot of speed getting into the bottom, positions herself well. And as we've seen in the past, she has a tendency to lean forward as she stands up. None of that, just beautiful lifts.
One event remains for the men as they get set to take on the 1-rep max snatch. As day number 1 of the Filthy 150, the opening sanctioned event, will continue. Mads Jacobson and I are going to take a quick break, and we will be back with full coverage of the second heat of the 1-rep max snatch for the men. Stay with us, everybody. Final event for the men, the 1-rep max snatch. Thanks for being with us, everybody, here on the opening day of the Filthy 150, just outside Dublin, Ireland. Sean Woodland and Mads Jacobson. Time to watch some man weight go up, Mads.
It is definitely time to see it. So the athletes are going to have 4 attempts, 4 20-second windows to lift and get as much weight overhead as they possibly can.
Dan Bailey all smiles as he takes the floor. First time we've seen him in competition in a long time. Drew Wayman trying to get himself to the CrossFit Games as well. As Drew's been one of those guys who's been close throughout his career. Dan Bailey will be in lane number 6. He's coming off a leg injury, and he told me before he came out here that his post-surgery PR is 235 pounds. That's about 107 kilos.
And he's going to need more than that in this company. He will have in lane number 1, Sam Stewart. Lane number 3, Linus Pisander. In lane number 4, Brian Wong. Lane number 5, Devin O'Neill. Lane number 6, there you've got him, Dan Bailey. Lane number 7, Miłosz Stawosinski. And in lane number 8, Jonathan Gibson. Lane number 9, Reggie Fossa. Lane number 10, Drew Wayman. In lane number 11, Nick Matthew.
Does look like we are going to have a couple of empty lanes on the floor. So lanes 2 and 3, that's Klaas Ugeroy and Linus Brisander, they are not on the floor right now.
So I got a text message from Linus' coach, and he said he wasn't quite feeling the way he should be feeling. I hope that he's all right, though. I mean, he just won the Open out of Sweden. And I mean, this is a great place for him to get some exposure to great competition.
Good news for him, if he's already in, there's no reason to push it here and risk further injury if he is not feeling well. So
Absolutely.
He has chosen at this moment to bow out of the competition. The best lift that we've seen so far, 127 kilos. That came in the first of these 3 heats. And Andre Houlet hit that. And for those of you that don't work in kilos, it's about 280 pounds. As Sam Stewart will sit in lane number 1, and he will hit his first lift at 100 kilos. Brian Wong will be up next, the 32-year-old from CrossFit Haymaker.
Gotta love that name, Haymaker, though. What a great name.
102 kilos for Brian, and that is no problem.
It looks like a unit, and he moved really well on his bar muscle ups as well. Good combination.
Hashtag rig shaker. Big guy gymnastics. Devin O'Neill and Dan Bailey stepping up next. Devin O'Neill will be on the left. Dan Bailey, the 5-time CrossFit Games athlete, is on the right. And Dan letting his cohort know that, hey, we got 10 seconds, man. And now they're going. Devin O'Neill, who finished 11th at the Mid-Atlantic CrossFit Challenge last year, will hit his lift. And Dan Bailey, he's got to go here. Yeah, it's 2 at a time. And Dan Bailey's over right now. So Dan Bailey a little rushed, but he's going to hit that lift.
105
for Dan Bailey.
It's like, we're good. Don't worry too much about it.
The next 2 lifters are going to be Miłosz Starozinski. He is in lane 7, left of your screen, and Jonathan Gibson in lane number 8. Miłosz can't hit that, as Gibson no problem.
Gotta love the t-shirt that Miłosz has on here. Genius.
Well, I don't know if it was a genius move to put that much weight on the bar, because he was not able to succeed in his first lift, so he has to rethink his plan.
And I hope that he's okay. It looked like his right elbow didn't quite extend, so I just hope he's all right.
Now Reggie Fossa on the left and Drew Wayman on the right. Fossa's lift at 90 kilos is good, and Drew Wayman at 110 kilos.
Nice.
The Big Red Express will hit that.
Looks unimpressed and focused.
The opening attempt, athletes have 4 attempts to lift here in this second of 3 heats. Again, the best lift that we have seen, 127 kilos in heat number 1 from Andre Houlet, and now Nick Matthew finished 3rd at Wadapalooza last year.
Easy
will hit
lift.
that no problem. So he matches Wayman at 110 kilos.
And it looks solid too. I just like it when an athlete goes out there and they get under the weight, but it's still a solid lift. It's not like they muscle their way through it. Solid mechanics is going to get you all the way every time.
Sam Stewart representing the Buttery Bros. Hoping that this lift goes smoothly. 120 kilos for Stewart.
Oh, nice.
Butter. Somewhere Heber Cannon is letting off an air horn in celebration.
Heber, if you're watching this, please do it online and tag us in it.
So second attempt good for Sam Stewart at 120 kilos. And now Brian Wong will be up next, about 264 pounds on Stewart's lift. And this is Brian Wong now at 107 kilos, and that will count about 237 pounds for him. Now Devin O'Neill and Dan Bailey, who will be ready to lift this time.
Devin O'Neill's going for 122 kilos.
Bailey at 107. Now this is basically his post-surgery PR. Coming back from that injury he had to his quadriceps.
Oh.
And Bailey will hit that. So he's going to be feeling really good about that lift. He just beat a post-surgery PR, and he has 2 lifts to go.
I just hope Dan is perfectly, well, let's say, capable of going harder than he is. I want to see Dan compete the entire weekend.
Wheeler Star-Wazinski is on the left. And Jonathan Gibson's on the right, so 100 kilos counts. So Star-Wazinski will hit that lift, and now Gibson struggles this time.
About to go back to the bar and just decided, well,
he still has 2 attempts. So that's probably a smart move for him.
I think so. So Wayman back on the bar now with 115 kilos.
Reggie Fossa is on the left. Drew Wayman is on the right. Fossa looked like he was going to lose that, but able to save it at 100, and now Wayman at 115. And Wayman almost had it. Everything looked good until he's trying to stand up. So 115 kilos, about 254 pounds.
Looked like Wayman stood up a little bit too fast. If he'd waited and just balanced that bar before he stood up, he would have had it.
Nick Matthew will be the final lifter here in round 2. 120 kilos for Matthew goes up easily. 120 for Matthew as he looks to be the leader here in this second of 3 heats.
I've got to tell you, I just love seeing American athletes struggle with kilos the way we've always struggled
It's a
with
little
the
payback.
pounds.
Now Sam Stewart at 125, looking to be the top man in this second of 3 heats.
Yes.
Buttering Sam Stewart, that's impressive at 125 kilos, 275 plus.
And remember, the heaviest weight so far is 127. He's got one more lift.
127 courtesy of Andre Houlet in the first heat. Now Brian Wong on the left of your screen. Up next at 112 kilos.
Looks good.
That was easy for Brian Wong. He will have 1 lift to go. Devin O'Neill in the white and Dan Bailey.
130, so for the lead so far.
O'Neill going for the lead at 130. Dan Bailey going for a PR at 115. That would be 253 pounds. So big lifts for both of these individuals, and Bailey will hit that. And now Devin O'Neill is your leader at 130. So a good battle developing here.
Impressive mustache here by Devin O'Neill as well.
That's clearly the key, is Sam Stewart, Devin O'Neill, and Nick Matthew are throwing some big punches right now with 1 heat to go.
is that we got Milos on the left of your screen and Gibson on the right. Now Gibson, as you can see, has a little bit of a bandage on his right elbow. He's coming off a minor elbow issue, or a minor that he's kind of nursing that. So probably smart not to try to fight it out in the bottom position.
Next two up, Reggie Fossa and Drew Wayman. Wayman at 115, Fossa at 105.
Fossa stands it up nicely.
Now Drew Wayman, who didn't hit his last lift, and this time he is able to stand it up. So 115 good for the Big Red Express, Drew Wayman.
A lot more patience in the bottom position there before he stood it up, and 127 here for Matthew.
That would now tie for second, as 130 is now the best lift we've seen. Andre Roulet's score at 127 is now good for second.
Oh, easy.
And Nick Matthew just matched that as we go to the fourth and final round. Sam Stewart stepping up for his final lift at 130 kilos, this to match for the lead. And he is just not able to stand that up. But a strong performance here in this event.
Definitely think he's going to be a happy camper once he shakes this off.
Now Brian Wong in the purple shirt will be next. And he's going for 120 kilos. Meanwhile, Devin O'Neill, you just got a peek at his cards. He's at 142.
That is impressive. But Brian Wong here, it's a big leap on the last one. Wasn't quite able to get it. He's still got a little bit of time. Nope.
And Wong can't hit that, and he's out of time. So now Devin O'Neill for the lead with one heat to go on his final lift here.
So Devin O'Neill is going for 142 kilos. Dan Bailey is going for another PR.
Bailey's on the right, and O'Neill can't hit that. But look, he's still your leader at 130 kilos. Bailey can't quite hit that. He's at 120, but he's already set 2 post-surgery PRs here. O'Neill's going again. And Bailey will make it. And Dan Bailey at 120, 264 pounds for Bailey, beats his post-surgery PR by 30 pounds.
Got to be happy with that.
Milo Starwozinski at 112, can't get that. Now Jonathan Gibson, his final attempt at 115. And once again, Gibson struggles.
And like we talked about before, if there is a surgery, if he's had an elbow injury, the snatch, take it easy, make sure you can compete the entire weekend.
Reggie Fossa and Drew Wayman stepping up next. Fossa in the white. Wayman is now on the right of your screen. So Fossa at 110, Wayman at 122. Fossa loses it forward.
So patience, 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 Drew.
And Wayman will get it.
Oh, nice.
Drew Wayman 3 for 4 on his lifts. Ends up with 122 kilos. About 270 pounds for Wayman, so an impressive lift for him. And now the final man to go is going to be Nick Matthew, trying to win this heat at 135 kilos.
Oh,
and just loses it behind him.
Still has a little bit of time to go.
Final attempt, and Matthew won't be able to get it. So 130 is our new top score as we have one heat to go. But how about Dan Bailey?
I mean, I'm impressed.
Beats his post-surgery PR, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
3 times, and it's not just doing the lift. It's not just the weight. It's also mentally getting yourself ready to lift like that in a setting like this. I'm super happy with that.
Devin O'Neill was right next to him, and probably got a little inspiration from Mr. Bailey, because Devin O'Neill is your event leader with 1 heat to go at 130 kilos. Andre Oulet, his score was the overall leader after the first heat. Now he moves into a tie for second at 127 kilos, unofficially. But we do know that Devin O'Neill is your event leader. Dan Bailey putting on the headset. Dan, you told me that your post-surgery PR was 235. You just demolished that, man. What did you think when you were stepping up to that barbell?
Man, you know what? Like in the warm-up area, I started snatching. I snatched earlier about a week ago, and it didn't go well. Nothing felt right. Nothing was good. And when the workout came out, or the snatch came out, I was like, okay, well, it's just damage control. But in the warm-up area, I was feeling great, and kind of, you know, we're lifting in kilos here, so I kind of had to figure out what that was going to be. And, you know, it was like, why not? You're in front of the audience. Like, let's go for 120, which is, I think, somewhere around 264, I think. So that's around a 30-pound PR, post-surgery PR for me. So, but fired up. You know, I couldn't have done any better.
What did you have in mind as your heaviest lift as you walked onto the floor? Because it feels like it changed while you were out there.
Yeah, the first lift, like, I think it's just because of the time in between, you know, the warm-up and the walking over. My arms felt a little bit shaky on the first lift. So I only went up by a smaller increment. But by the time I hit that second lift, lockout felt great, standing up felt great, and it's like, okay, like, let's go for 115 and then let's go for 120.
Dan, we'll let you get going, but it's great seeing you back out there, man. Congratulations on the PR, and we look forward to watching the rest of the weekend.
Having a blast. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Dan Bailey with 3 post-surgery PRs. Looks to be close to getting back to the old Dan Bailey that we all love to watch out there on the competition floor, as Sean Sweeney continues to give away free stuff with his bracelets. He did not bring any autograph photos that I have seen that he's handing out to the crowd. He will be in this final heat. Now, all the guys in this heat, quite a few of them, I should say, are vying for that invite. Now, Cedric Lapointe is in lane 5. While he is here, he went from being in a qualifying spot to the Open to being on the outside looking in as the penalties for 20.4 were handed out. So he has kind of had this roller coaster with the Open. Qualified now, he's on the outside, but still a lot needs to shake out. But he's a guy now who would love to punch his ticket here.
He sure is, but he's going to have to fight it out with a bunch of other guys here. In lane number 1, we have, let's just see here for a second. In lane number 1, you have Lucas Esslinger. Lane number 2, Justin Medeiros. Lane number 3, Sean Lemaire. Lane number 4, Adrian Mundweiler. Lane number 5, Cedric Lapointe. Lane number 6, Jodnikowski has withdrawn. Lane number 7, Matt McLeod. Lane number 8, Michael Smith. Lane number 9, Roman Krenikov. Lane number 10, Sean Sweeney. Lane number 11, Will Morad. And in lane number 12, Tim Paulson. And these guys aren't going to let him run away with anything.
The score to beat, Devin O'Neill, 130 kilos. A lot of men in this final heat certainly capable of doing that. Your overall leader is going to be one of the 2 men lifting first. That's Justin Medeiros, who sits atop the overall leaderboard by 6 points over Adrian Mundweiler. So the 2 of them are trying to earn that invite and in the best position to do that right now. Medeiros at 120, he's on the right. He will hit that for his opening lift.
And Lucas Esslinger in lane number 1 got his first lift. I failed to see what it was. It looks like it's 110, 115, something like that.
Jean-Simon Lemaire is on your left, and Adrian Mundweiler is on the right. And Mundweiler's a guy who didn't even do the Open. He told me yesterday that he just does so much better when he's on a competition floor, and that's how he's looking to get his way to the CrossFit Games. 120 kilos for Mundweiler. Now he still has 10 seconds to make a second attempt, and Mundweiler will make that second attempt count.
And I love the little conversations that Adrian always has with himself while he's out there on the floor. He's getting after it, discussing everything with himself. The voices in his head are back. Matt McLeod, 105.
So Matt McLeod should be the only man lifting. because Jonakoski is not in the lane next to him. So McLeod is good. There's some confusion here as that lift will not count for Michael Smith.
And you saw Roman Krenikov looking at a watch going, it's not our turn just yet.
A lot of confusion on the floor here with this event. Now it's going to be Michael Smith and Roman Krenikov. Krenikov on the right will hit 105. It looks like they are going to give Smith credit for the lift that he did, even though he didn't do it in his allotted window. So Sean Sweeney and Will Morad stepping up next. The two of them decided to go shirtless, even though it is sub-zero temperatures in here right now.
Saw a couple of Penguins walk around with a jacket a little bit earlier, but you know.
Whatever helps you get that weight overhead. So Sweeney at 110 will make that. Will Morad at 120. Opening lifts good for both of them.
No problem whatsoever.
Final two lifters will be Zedek Lapointe, the man we talked about as we came into this heat, who is now on the outside looking in as far as a qualification spot from the open is concerned, and Tim Paulson, who is on the right side of that cut line on the right, and they will hit their opening lifts.
110 and 120, respectively. So I think we're off to a good start. And I mean, these guys have all seen the weights that have been put up by the previous athletes, and they know what to beat. And they also know what's coming tomorrow. Here you got Lucas Esslinger.
Esslinger and Justin Medeiros, the overall leader is Medeiros coming into this event. 170 points. He's 6 points up on Adrian Boonweiler. In fact, right now, as Esslinger hits his lift at 122, and Medeiros will match him, the men in the top 6 spots have not qualified for the CrossFit Games, so it's going to be pretty exciting as we move into the weekend. Winner heads to Madison.
Still a little bit of confusion about when you're supposed to lift, and here we go, Mundweiler having a bit of a conversation with himself, going for 125.
Jean-Simon Wallamer is on the left, he hits 115, and Mundweiler will hit 125 kilos on his second attempt.
McLeod now just making sure it's not his time to lift just yet. 112 kilos on the bar.
Matt McLeod, who made an impressive CrossFit Games debut this last August, will make his second lift.
So now let's see if we can get Michael Smith and Roman Krenikov off to the start in the right slot.
Looks like they are now both on the same page.
So 110 kilos for both athletes.
Smith hits that, Krenikov hits that. So Krenikov had to walk it forward, but he is able to hit the lift.
Sean Sweeney just getting confirmation from his judge. I lift when at the 5-minute marker. Yes, you do.
So Will Morad, 2 CrossFit Games appearances in his career, both really solid placements. He was 10th this past August, and then 14th in 2014. Sean Sweeney will hit his lift at 117 kilos, and Will Morad is good at 125. The lift to beat is 130, courtesy of Devin O'Neill, who did that in the prior heat. This is the third and final heat of the third event for the individuals, as Tim Paulson now at 130 kilos looking to tie Devin O'Neill. Now Paulson has 2 lifts remaining after this. 130 goes up easily for Tim Paulson.
And I think it's smart. I think it's really smart to have it as your third lift, because it gives you the option, if you make the lift, to go heavier, but it also, if he had missed it, would have given him an opportunity to come back and give it one more try.
Round 3 now underway is Lucas Eschlinger and Justin Medeiros. Eschlinger on the left, Medeiros is on the right. Medeiros at 125. Eschlinger going for 130, so he's looking to get into that fight for the top spot. Eschlinger loses it forward. Medeiros, meanwhile, trying to hang on to the top spot on the overall leaderboard, makes that lift count. One more try for Eschlinger. And he won't be able to stabilize that lift.
And Eschlinger told us coming into this that since his game's ticket is he's already punched his ticket, he's going to be able to go more and just throw haymakers. And I mean, I think that's what he's doing right now.
Jean-Simon Waldemar on the left and Adrian Moonweiler on the right. Moonweiler now at 130 as well. Moonweiler looking to stay ahead of Justin Medeiros in this event. If he does that, if Adrian Moonweiler can beat Medeiros by just one spot, assuming that he finishes in the top 3, Adrian Moonweiler could overtake him for the overall lead in this competition as Matt McLeod steps up to 117, his 3rd attempt.
Nice. Nice. I think Adrian Moonweiler would appreciate finishing on top of the leaderboard after day 1.
Michael Smith and Roman Krennikov. Smith on the left, Krennikov is on the right. Roman Krennikov has qualified for the CrossFit Games twice, but because of visa problems has not been able to make it over to Madison, Wisconsin to compete. Both men at 115 kilos. Krennikov hits that, and Smith will hit that.
Krennikov looking the happier, so the Russian bear is happy. I like that.
Sean Sweeney and Will Morad. Sweeney always bringing that cowboy hat wherever he competes. Genuinely enjoys being out there. He always has a blast when he's out on the competition floor. 122 for Sweeney, and Will Morad looking to tie for the lead now at 130. Sweeney makes that. Morad easy at 130. He and Tim Paulson
nice
are now your
lift.
leaders, along with Devin O'Neill. And Paulson, at the bottom right of your screen, just saw that happen and get himself a little fired up. Remember, Tim Paulson, one of the guys playing with house money here, he's already in the CrossFit Games unofficially, courtesy of his performance in the Open. And now Cedric Lapointe and Tim Paulson will lift. Paulson with what would be our best lift of this event at 135 kilos. And Tim Paulson will hit that lift. So Paulson all by himself now with one lift to go at 135 kilos, and Cedric Lapointe was good as well as we start the 4th and final round.
And it puts a lot of pressure on all the other athletes because they can't just jump to 135 now. They need to go beyond 135, and Tim has another lift left as well.
Lucas Eschlinger and Justin Medeiros. And Medeiros has to be concerned with Adrian Moonweiler. That's the guy he's trying to hold off on the overall leaderboard. Eschlinger can't hit 130. Medeiros will hit 127. Great final lift for Justin Medeiros as he looks to keep himself in the lead here. And Eschlinger now at 130. Made 4 attempts, couldn't get any of them.
I love that he's trying. I love that he's going out there and just let's see what it gives.
Jean-Simon Waldemar and Adrian Moonweiler up next. Now, Adrian Moonweiler at 135 kilos. This would tie Tim Paulson for the lead in this event, but more importantly, it could put Moonweiler on top of the overall leaderboard after day 1.
So Medeiros got 127. Moonweiler's got 130 already.
And Moonweiler will hit 135, and you could be looking at your new leader in the overall standings after 3 events. Huge lift for Adrian Moonweiler.
Tapping the barbell, the plates.
So Jean-Simon Waldemar won't hit his. At the other end of the floor is Tim Paulson. He is the man who also hit 135, but he still has 1 lift to go. So he can still win this event. And now Matt McLeod at 120 kilos. $265.
There you go.
And McLeod sticks that. Good finish for Matt McLeod here on day number 1. And that will bring up Mike Smith and Roman Krennikov. Well, Michael Smith made his first CrossFit Games appearance last August, finished 26th.
So 120 kilos for Michael Smith, and he made his last lift look really, really good.
But that is easy for Smith. Krennikov can't lift 117. Taking a look at the clock, he still has 10 seconds to go. Krennikov is going to make another attempt. And just didn't have the gas in the tank for that one. Good effort for Roman Krennikov. Sean Sweeney and Will Morad will now get set for their final attempts.
Sweeney 125, Morad 135 as well.
Sweeney almost had it. Morad at 135, and now he is tied with Tim Paulson for the lead in this event. And that's huge. Morad's lift is for Adrian Moonweiler because it puts more people between Moonweiler and Justin Medeiros. Now Tim Paulson, 140 kilos. This lift for the event win. Cedric Lapointe next to him, he's at 125.
Oh!
Tim Paulson almost had it. Almost had it. Still has some time, but it doesn't look like he's gonna make another run. But Tim Paulson and Will Morad and Cedric Lapointe sets up again for 125. Will tie for the event win. So a great day 1 for Tim Paulson, who smashed the opening event. And now a tie for first with Will Morad, who hits 135 kilos on his final lift. Morad and Tim Paulson. But there could be a shakeup at the top of the overall leaderboard as Adrian Moonweiler came in trailing Justin Medeiros. Led Moonweiler by just 6 points. And Moonweiler beat Medeiros by a pretty big margin, and then also had some more people get between himself and Medeiros in the process. So Adrian Moonweiler, who chose not to participate in the Worldwide Open this year, needs to qualify through one of these sanctioned events, and he could be your overall leader after day 1.
But it was an exciting day. I mean, they were battling it back and forth. Will Morad kind of flying under the radar, but ending up with a lift of 135 kilos. Moonweiler here, same thing, and they were dragged into the deep end of the pool by Tim Paulson, who started out by putting up these big weights.
And Paulson, you can see just how close he got to hitting 140 kilos. But Tim Paulson, he had a heck of a day 1, won the opening event, and then bookends his day with basically 2 top performances. But Will Morad felt the pressure, I guess, there on that final lift. And Will, you put 135 kilos on the barbell, you hit the lift. What was going through your head before you stepped up to the barbell to make that attempt?
You know, I was thinking about going 137, but before this, I chatted with my coach, Max, and he was like, dude, just execute the game plan, because last year I had 3 misses in, no, 2 misses in max settings like this, where I was kind of going to send it, and I left a few points on the board. So I went out there, I stuck to the game plan, and I maximized my points, I think. So that's a good place to be.
How hard is it for you not to get sucked into by what everybody else has got on the bar when you're out there?
You probably see it on the video if it's on me. I was really thinking about going up, but man, I've been doing this a long time, so it's getting easier and easier.
Well, you're 4th place overall coming into this event. What are you looking forward to now the rest of the weekend as you look to put yourself on top of the overall leaderboard?
Yeah, just clean execution all weekend. You know, I've had a shorter training year because of the injury at the game, so this is kind of getting the competitive juices flowing, and I think if I have clean execution, it should put me in a good spot to win.
You feel like it feels like you're a lot calmer now than when I saw you moving into or the entire game season last year, if you felt a little bit stressed. Now you just look like so much more just relaxed and comfortable with what you're doing. What's the answer?
Yeah, actually, maybe you think about my past career. I thought last year I was pretty calm and collected. Maybe it didn't look that way, but I felt that way. But yeah, I think just being at peace where I am in my life and, you know, enjoying this process. And if I can compete at the highest level, then that's just a bonus.
You mentioned the injury at the games and the short training year that you've had so far. How are you feeling right now as you proceed deeper into the season?
Yeah, I feel pretty good, you know. I'm getting my competition legs back under me, which there's a prerequisite level of training that needs to happen to be at 100%. But I feel healthy. I'm pretty hungry to compete, and I have a lot of stuff planned for this season, so I'm just looking ahead.
Will, congratulations on a fantastic performance there in that final event, and good luck the rest of the weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Pleasure to watch you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Will Morad with a pressure-packed lift that he was thinking about maybe going a little heavier, but I think he chose wisely, and he ties Tim Paulson for the event win. Is no shocks. John Sweeney still out on the floor now, has donned the cowboy hat and taken some selfies with some fans. So a big day one here for the individuals, 3 total events, and then we had a couple events for the teams. What stood out to you the most about what you saw here on day one at the Filthy 150? I
think the thing that stuck out the most to me was Andrea Solberg. On the ladies' side of the house, I mean, you knew that Sarah Sigmundsdottir was going to be good. You knew that Kristin Holte was going to be good. Andrea, though, the way she executed and then follows through on the second workout and even on the snatches did a really, really great job. That stood out to me. On top of that, obviously, all the big favorites. I love the way that they handled themselves, but that is what stood out to me the most. On the men's side of the house, it's just how tight it was.
Right.
It was just everything is still up there. We're going back and forth, tabulating the scores, making sure that we know who's in the top, and it kind of opens up the field enormously for when we move in to the second day. On the team side of the house, it's the same thing. I mean, it's just, it feels like there are some of these like some of the super teams that we had expectations coming in here that we thought they may run away with it. But I mean, they find themselves struggling a little bit, which means that once again, day 2 is going to be moving day. Everybody is ready, and everybody's going to be able to make a move tomorrow.
You mentioned the team competition. We'll give you an update of where things stand right now for them. It's the athlete program. They're your overall leaders, but just by 2 points over Team JST Compete. And then the program, they sit in third with 156 points. The favorites coming in, Nation, they currently are in 8th place with 100 points. So they have some ground to make up on day number 2. On the women's side, it is Sarah Sigmundsdottir who has the overall lead. She and Kristin Holte, first and second. Sigmundsdottir with a 12-point lead over Kristin Holte. As far as the invitation is concerned to the CrossFit Games, Steph Chung leads that race. She is in 3rd place overall on the leaderboard with 250 points, but she is the highest ranking woman who has yet to receive a qualifying spot to Madison. So she's looking to make a return to the CrossFit Games. That was an impressive moment for Sarah Sigmundsdottir and Steph Chung as well. But Sigmundsdottir even went back and made another attempt that wouldn't have counted in front of the crowd and almost hit it. And then we saw this great battle here to end the day between Tim Paulson and Will Morad, as Tim Paulson almost won the event outright with a lift of 140 kilos. So day 1 is done here at the Filthy 150. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be back with you tomorrow all day with all the action for the men, the women, and the teams. It's going to be an exciting day 2. What are you looking forward to the most seeing here?
I'm looking forward to seeing who comes out guns blazing, because I want to see somebody really make a move tomorrow. I don't want to see anybody going safe. I want to see him really throw it, put it on the line, and go for it. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see Andrea Solberg go out there and challenge some of these big names. I want to see Stephanie Chung start challenging Kristin Holte as well. And, of course, Sarah Sigmundsdottir. And on the men's side of the house, Will Morad. please, buddy, just keep going.
Yeah, he's
I
looking
love
good,
it.
and Tim Paulson has had an impressive showing so far, and it will be exciting on the team side of the competition as well. We'll be back again with live coverage all day tomorrow. Thanks for being with us for our entire broadcast crew here outside of Dublin at the Punches Racecourse. And for Mads Jacobson, I'm Sean Woodland. We'll see you tomorrow.